So, just checking my hair is looking as though it's okay. Oh dear. Getting my face on. You know, because we know that we've all got to look perfect if we're going to do things like videos. Okay, so obviously that doesn't really apply to me. So, that's hilarious. I just made myself laugh and I needed that. Okay, I really feel like I need to do some work, and God, this is really interesting, this painting, because I did this a couple of months ago and I've been obviously playing with the creative solutions since then, and I've done quite a lot of different pieces. But this one really shifted something in me. Noticeably, if I let you know some of the things that happened, was that after I did this, one of the physical symptoms that I was having because I've done 4 years of acupuncture training, and I'm in the final year, which has been very much interrupted with all of the lockdowns and the whole pandemic thing for the last sort of 12 months. There's been a lot of disruption, but we'd gone into final year of clinic, and last year I had, 2020, I'd really noticed that during clinics, when I was working with clients, I would, during the process of doing the therapeutic, in the middle of the sessions, particularly once I started, it was specifically once I started needling, so once I was working with the energy, I began to notice that I was having some real breathing issues. And actually one of the things that changed after doing this video, along with an awareness that I was really sort of feeling full in my lungs, was to begin to exhale and release a lot of this sort of excess breath that I was holding. And I noticed in the video that I was doing a lot of that sort of quite heavy breathing as well. So I don't know if that's noticeable, if this will be different now, but I feel like my breathing has changed. So in itself, watching the process of doing this painting, I feel that there was a moment during doing the energy work with this particular painting where all of the energy, all of that feeling that was around the themes for this, the hopelessness and the sort of feeling like giving up, which was the theme that I was working with. With doing this, it was having a physical effect, and it was very interesting that it was affecting the lungs, and that also was sort of affecting this balance, and I was aware that there was some sort of disconnect between above and below, and of course with the diaphragm being the central dividing part of that. And that really shifted when I did this piece of work here and across the canvas. And when I put my hands up here, okay, there is a huge amount of energy as soon as my hand goes near that painting. So it's really interesting because I haven't done that until right this minute. And as I'm actually doing this, there's a different energy to different parts of the painting. So that's really, that's just surprised me. I don't know why it's surprised me, but it has. But it shouldn't. Really shouldn't surprise me. So I want to do some more work on this, and I haven't wanted to touch it actually for a long time. And when I look at it, I'm very happy. It makes me feel quite like there's space and balance. But also when I look at it, there is a feeling that something's not finished. And initially when I put this up on the wall, I put this the other way around. Now I've put it back up the way that I had been painting it. But when I initially put this up, I put it up the other way. And it was interesting because I had said last time, in the video, I wanted to turn it around. I had said that I felt that, there was a really full feeling down in this lower part. When I first put this up, I noticed how empty a lot of this part of the canvas was and how full all of this area at the top is. Well, obviously it was at the bottom, but in this direction now. So a lot of this here is still pieces of virgin canvas. All around that section, there's this space. And actually I really quite like it. But there's very clearly a big difference between what's here and what's there, and maybe that's fine. I don't know that in itself is something that needs to change, and I'm talking at the moment obviously with my mind, and I haven't gone into any of the energy around that, but it was an observation, in the same way as I've just given you an observation about how the energy feels. So there are different ways that when we're doing this that we can move energy, and then we can get energetic feedback. It's really important to be open to that. So, and it's a very different process to, for example, an art critic. It's not looking at a thing as a piece of art. It's not trying to create some sort of composition. It's not trying to balance features, in terms of their colour, their form, the direction of movement. It's not about that as a piece of art. It's about when we're motivated to move something and we're moving it out of us, and we're moving it in a way, we're moving it onto the canvas. We're creating the space between holding whatever this thing is inside of us and placing it outside of us. But when we do that as well, there's a process. It's not just sort of a narcissistic way of putting something up and looking at some aspect of ourselves, but it's literally moving the energy, and it shifts and moves the energy inside of us. So and whether that's an innate part of what every artist does, or whether it's something specific to working with creative solutions and working with energy and art in this way, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But it's interesting, and maybe it happens all the time when somebody's engaged in some sort of creative artistic work. But what we're doing is we're making that central, it's a central focus of what we're doing. And so in a way that makes it the whole point of what's going on. So there's a process of moving the energy, working with that, moving it in our own body, and then also separating from it. getting it out. And then something then that happens is once it's outside of us is a process of reflection. So there's all the energy.